Aubergine or eggplant is one of the most attractive vegetables that you'll find in the vegetable aisle. I mean, just look at it. But I bet you lots of you have gone past thinking, I love aubergines, but I don't know how to cook them. Well, today I'm going to show you one of my simplest, tastiest recipes for aubergine, and that is aubergine in garlic oyster sauce. Let's do this. Did you know that aubergines are not a true vegetable? If you think you know what they are, put your answers in the comments below and I'll tell you at the end of the video. So the first thing we're going to do is prepare our aubergines. We're going to take the top off and then we're going to cut them into around 2-inch pieces. Then I'm going to cut these into little batons, bite-sized batons. So they end up looking a little bit like this. Now we're going to steam our aubergines over quite a vigorous heat for 15 minutes. Cover and steam. So we've got here the holy trinity of Asian cooking: ginger, garlic and chili peppers. First of all, I'm going to get some ginger. About that much should do for this recipe. Just cut off the gnarly bits. Usual. And then slice it up. This time I've opted for the Scotch bonnet chili, which is mighty hot, so choose the chili and the quantity that you can withstand the heat to or like the heat to. I'm not going to put much of this in because I don't want to blow my socks off, but a little bit goes a long way when it comes to these boys. I don't care about seeds, you can take them out if you like. He says, taking out the seeds. Do you know what? I'm going to err on the side of caution. So I'm just going to slice them up nice and fine like so. And you know what? I think that'll do. All I want is a nice heat running through it. I do not want to blow mine or anybody else's socks off. That will do. That will do. I've also got a nice green pepper, which I'm going to use about half of. And I've already got some yellow pepper already prepared, which is nice because it'll add a little bit of sweetness to it. I've also got some chestnut mushrooms. You can use shiitake if you can get hold of it. Just going to cut them up so they're still relatively chunky. Sometimes when you cook mushrooms they just melt to nothing. You want to make sure you've got some bites to it. I've also got some spring onions or green onions or scallions, whatever you want to call them. Just going to chop these up fine. These are going to go in right at the end of the cooking process. This will give it a nice little oniony flavour and also a tiny bit of crunch to the whole thing. I think the mix of textures we've got here is going to be really nice. Finally, I've got 6 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to just give a quick crush and then just chop them finely. So whilst the B-roll is, well, rolling, I'd like to take the opportunity to tell you about our rebooted Patreon page. It's going to include things like footage that is too long to go into my normal videos. It's going to give you an insight into the world of Chow with Lau, my thoughts on Chinese cooking and other things, my life as a YouTuber, all sorts of little goodies which I can't put into the main videos. There are even higher levels where you can get direct access to me. This includes messaging, so you can ask me questions about cooking. One-to-one video chats, where I can be virtually there to walk you through recipes, or answer questions one-to-one, or just have a general chat, if you're into that kind of thing. Anyway, if you're interested, please check out my Patreon page. The link is in the description below this video. And hopefully, I'll see you soon. Right, so that's our 15 minutes. Oh, look at that. Okay, so they've been steaming nicely. Carefully remove this. This is really hot. Maybe I should switch the heat off first. That might help. Okay, right, so carefully lifting it out. What we need to do, if you see there's a lot of liquid on the plate, carefully drain the water away, and then we can continue to the next step. Okay, we're ready to stir fry our ingredients. So I'm going to add to a hot wok 2 or 3 tablespoons of cooking oil. Anything with a high smoking point will do. Swirl it around to give an even coating. That will help the non-stick properties. So on a medium heat, let's turn down to a medium heat because we do not want to burn the garlic. I'm going to put the aromatics in, the garlic, the ginger, the chili. Okay, and we're just going to gently cook those off. Like so. We have to be careful not to burn the garlic because burnt garlic gives a bitter taste. Okay, that just releases the aromatics, opens the flavour, as we say in Chinese. So we've properly got those going. So I'm going to start adding our ingredients, the rest of our veggie ingredients, which are the peppers to start with. We put them in the order they take the longest to cook. Okay, although in this case there's not a huge amount of difference. As you put more ingredients in, it kind of takes the sting out of the heat, so the garlic is less inclined to burn. However, keep it moving. And then we're going to put our mushrooms in, our chestnut mushrooms. Now the trick is with stir frying, especially this kind of dish, is because we're going to add liquid to it and get it bubbling away, we don't need to completely cook it with the stir frying process, otherwise we're going to end up overcooking it and our vegetables are not going to stay crisp. The great thing about Asian cooking or Chinese cooking is the fact that the vegetables will stay crisp and we don't boil the vitamins and stuff and the goodness out of the vegetables. Okay. Oh, the smell, the aromatics are just absolutely mouth-watering. One of these days, YouTube's going to invent smell-o-vision. And that will be a game changer, let me tell you. And now to this, I'm going to add 200 milliliters of plain water. Okay, I've got it straight out of a hot kettle because then we're not taking too much time to bring it back up to temperature, because that'll just add to the kind of the cooking time in total, which means that the vegetables will be slightly more soggy if you put cold water in. Always try to remember to put freshly boiled water in if you're going to do that, or make a stock. If you're making a stock, make sure the stock's nice and hot when you put it in. Okay, so now we've got it to a nice rolling boil. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of oyster sauce. If you are vegetarian or vegan, there are some really nice vegan oyster sauces out there, or mushroom oyster sauces even. So you can choose from those. Give that a nice little stir. Oyster sauce is quite strong in terms of it's got that nice sweet savoury umami flavour to it, but it's also quite salty. So I'm not going to add any more salt to this dish. What I am going to add is half a tablespoon of dark soy sauce. Now this is just going to give us a little bit of colour and a little bit of soy flavour, which is what we want because we want that depth of flavour. Now light soy sauce and dark soy sauce are different, and dark soy sauce is not as salty as light soy sauce, which is why I can use it with the saltiness of the oyster sauce. Hope that makes sense. And also I'm going to add half a tablespoon of chinkiang vinegar, which is a black vinegar, Chinese black vinegar, which is great. It's kind of got a savoury taste to it. It's not as sharp as a malt vinegar, and it really balances out this dish, which with the saltiness we've got on and the sweetness we're going to add to it as well. This just really helps to balance it out. And I'm going to add half a teaspoon of sugar. Again, just to round it off. Smells absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so that's all cooked through now. Time to add our cooked aubergine or eggplant. Okay. Look at that. And all we're going to do is bring it back to a rolling boil again. And just to thicken it up, I've got a tablespoon of cornflour or cornstarch mixed with a little water, a cornflour slurry if you like. And we're just going to add some of that into that. I'm not going to put it all in because I don't know how thick it's going to get. And then that will thicken it up nicely. And then obviously what we do is we add enough to get it to the right thickness that you want. I think that's just about perfect. Look, lovely. Not too gloopy, but not too thin. That is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. And there you go, guys. Aubergine in a garlic and oyster sauce with a little bit of optional chili. Right guys, moment of truth. Get your taste buds ready. It's hot. That is gorgeous. The oyster sauce goes so well with this, and the bit of hint of chili really cuts through it, and that vinegar really helps as well because it doesn't make it too savoury, if you know what I mean. It just gives that ever so slight hint of tang. It's not tangy, but it just manages to cut through a little bit. And the garlic, obviously garlic and the ginger are just lovely. They always go well together. And the aubergine itself is nice, still firm, but tender. And this bowl is really hot. Put it down. Really, really nice. In Chinese cooking, if you want meat added to this, they normally kind of stir fry some ground pork when you're doing the stir frying bit, and then the rest of it is exactly the same. So if you want to add meat, that's one way of doing it. You can add king prawns, you can add sliced beef, whatever you want. But just as it is, as a vegetable dish or just a side dish, it is so gorgeous. So I hope you try it, and if you do, please leave me comments below to let me know how it went for you. And thanks everybody for your continuing support, especially over the last few months. You guys have been my rock. Thank you so much. I could not do it without you. I'll see you in the next video. Take care guys. Thank you. Bye bye. So guys, have you figured out what these are? Without Googling it, of course. The answer to the question is aubergines are a type of berry. Did you know that? If you did, give yourself a little clap on the back, little star, and comment below that you got it right. I know my audience is a really clever bunch.